One of the most infamous men in the world, Andrew Tate.
If I were to see a girl on a private plane on Instagram, for example, I would assume that a man put her on that private plane. I would not assume she bought it herself. Perhaps that makes me misogynistic.
Romanian police are expanding their investigation of the former kickboxer Andrew Tate.
The controversial influencer Andrew Tate has been accused of putting a gun in a woman's face.
Police in Romania are questioning Andrew Tate into alleged crimes including sex with a minor and money laundering.
I want to see this little baby.
Andrew, come here. Look at the camera, boy.
Hey, Andrew.
What you got for daddy? Ali?
Andrew Tate was born in Chicago, Illinois, son of Emery and Eileen Tate. Andrew Tate and his younger brother Tristan were nurtured to be incredibly competitive and disciplined. Andrew's late father, Emery Tate, professional chess player, ex-military veteran, was incredibly strict on Andrew and Tristan growing up, ensuring that they both were very well educated and disciplined. From the age of 5 and onwards, Andrew was competing against adults in chess competitions and excelling in his education.
Come here. Look at the camera, boy.
Hey, Andrew.
What you got for daddy? Ali?
The standard of living for the Tate family was low. Andrew's mother was a stay-at-home mother and his father was a professional chess player. Emery Tate spent all his time either in the casino, gambling the money he earned from chess, or he was out cheating on his wife, Eileen Tate. This made life growing up quite a struggle for Andrew and Tristan. At the age of 11, Andrew's mother decided to move back to her home with Andrew and Tristan in Luton, Bedfordshire, England, a small town located about 30 miles northwest of London. Due to this switch, Andrew found it difficult, as not only did he leave his friends behind in Chicago, he also was forced to quit chess, as it wasn't as prominent in England at the time. From the age of 11 and onwards, Andrew spent his time in education and participating in sports such as karate and boxing. It wasn't until Andrew turned 17 that he began training seriously in Storm Kickboxing Gym located in Luton Town. Andrew decided to drop out of education and structured his entire life around his kickboxing career. From the age of 17 to 22, Andrew spent all his time either training or fighting, whilst Tristan, on the other hand, was focusing more on his education to peruse sales, as he believed it would allow him to support Andrew's kickboxing career. At the age of 22, Andrew won his first world kickboxing title. Because of Tristan's support and Andrew's hard work, Andrew was able to excel and become 3 times world kickboxing champion before turning 28. This status unlocked more media opportunities for Andrew, allowing him to be hosted on the English reality show Big Brother. Andrew entered this show with the aim of winning and took it incredibly serious. Andrew never shunned away from sharing his opinion, sharing controversial takes, even insulting other members of the house, resulting in him being kicked off the show. Andrew was incredibly cocky and arrogant on this show, making him an attractive individual for social media fame.
The real reason I got kicked out of Big Brother is because I was too good at triggering everyone. So what happened was, I was only in there for about 9 days and 4 people walked out, and every single man in there at some point had threatened me with violence. So they took me into the diary room and they said, we're really concerned about the dynamic of the house. This is all off camera.
Yeah.
I was like, well, the rules of Big Brother, we all signed a contract saying no one's allowed to make threats. I'm not threatening anybody. All these people are threatening me. You just shut down their threats. I'm like, yeah, but people, you're very controlled and they're more emotional, and we just want to guarantee that in the event of an altercation, you won't hit anybody. And they must have sat around, all the producers sat around and thought, shit.
Oh,
yeah, shit. Over the next 3 months, this is going to happen. And he's going to hurt them bad.
This was only the beginning of Andrew's social media rampage. Not too long after this, Andrew was invited on Infusion to represent the USA in kickboxing. Andrew has a very unique orthodox fighting style, which gave him the name Cobra Tate, in which he sits back waiting for a gap, then launches forward using side kicks and heavy backhands. He used to dominate the tournament, knocking out all his opponents in the first and second rounds. Andrew used this attention to go and win his 4th kickboxing world championship title. Due to Andrew's increased status, he was paid more money for his fights. At this point in the brothers' journey, they were living comfortably. Tristan was making £1,000 a week and Andrew was receiving fighting checks of up to $40,000 after tax every 6 months. Andrew decided the best move on the chessboard was to stop kickboxing and use his status to create a name for himself and become an entrepreneur. Andrew's first profitable businesses post-fighting was an adult webcam studio, which he ran with Tristan. How this business model worked was, they hired women through social media or in person to work as cam models. These women interacted with paying clients on adult websites. Andrew and Tristan's role was to handle the marketing, scripts, technology, payment systems, and client engagement. Andrew used emotional intelligence and manipulation tactics to profit off of the desperate men who were entertaining the webcam models. This business model was incredibly lucrative, generating upwards of 6 figures per month. Not only was Andrew making a fortune from his business, he identified that the women in the webcam industry weren't as tactical and business-minded as he was, and used his skills to take them from making $3,000 per month up to 5 figures per month. And it was benefiting both him and the woman in their career. At the age of 30, Andrew and Tristan decided to move to Romania due to its lower cost of living, their strict policy against antisocial behavior, and it was easier to set up and maintain businesses due to their low corporation and self-employment tax rates when compared to other European countries. Andrew believed he had more personal freedom there rather than in the UK. This switch gave them more financial leverage and flexibility from an entrepreneurial standpoint. Andrew decided to start posting his controversial and also rage-baiting takes all over the internet, sparking massive attention from individuals such as Piers Morgan and other news channels. Andrew tried to make as many podcast appearances as he could, including the Fresh and Fit podcast, the Full Send podcast, Rob Moore, and many other appearances. This helped boost his status, which led to Andrew being the most Googled person in 2023. Seizing the momentum, Andrew, Tristan, and their cousin Luke launched Hustlers University, an online course designed to teach young entrepreneurs high-value skills they could monetize to create wealth. The program covered areas like copywriting, client acquisition, e-commerce, health and fitness, and content creation, emphasizing actionable strategies rather than theoretical knowledge. Within a short period, it attracted tens of thousands of students globally, many of whom began generating real income through the skills they learned.
If you don't mind me asking, you pay $49 a month to be a member of the real world. How much money do you make out of it?
At the moment, I've made like 75 grand.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I didn't make anything like that in 9 months until I was probably 23, 24. So you've got a massive head start on me. So you're doing exceptionally well, young man. I'm proud of you.
The course was later rebranded as The Real World, expanding its curriculum and professionalizing its offerings, which boosted both credibility and enrollment. By combining his online fame with the course's popularity, Andrew generated millions in revenue. Reports suggest his ventures collectively brought in over $100 million. But it wasn't just about the money. The Real World became a cultural phenomenon, with students posting their success stories online, amplifying Andrew's influence and reinforcing his image as a mentor who could turn knowledge into tangible wealth. Despite being banned from TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, Andrew leveraged streaming on Rumble, redirecting his fans to a platform where he could maintain a direct connection with his audience, ensuring both his personal brand and his course continued to thrive. Hustlers University, and later The Real World, was more than just an educational platform. It became a cornerstone of Andrew Tate's empire, a driving force behind his financial success, and a symbol of his ability to turn controversy and internet notoriety into an empire that educated and empowered a generation of young entrepreneurs.
I would never kill myself under any circumstances. So the day they put that on the news, when they finally take me out, you can know it's a lie. It's haram. I would never kill myself. Lock me in that cell for the rest of my life. I would never.
They say every empire meets resistance, and for Andrew Tate, that resistance didn't come from a rival in the ring, it came from something much bigger, the Matrix. To Tate, The Matrix isn't just a movie reference, it's his metaphor for the system. Politics, media, banks, big tech, law enforcement, all working together to silence people who refuse to play by the rules. And once he became the most Googled man on the planet, the Matrix came for him. To his fans, it wasn't random. They believed it was coordinated, a warning shot, but that was just the beginning. On December the 29th, 2022, Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan were arrested in Romania. Prosecutors accused them of human trafficking, of forming an organized crime group, even of rape. The story spread like wildfire. Images of Tate being led away in handcuffs flooded every news outlet on the planet. The internet divided overnight. Was this justice or a takedown? Tate was thrown into a cold Romanian cell. 30 days turned into 60, 60 turned into 90. Month after month he waited, locked away while the world argued about his guilt, and when he was finally released, it wasn't freedom, it was house arrest. Cameras outside his gate, police watching his every move. For months he was trapped in his own mansion, still technically a prisoner. But it didn't stop there. Authorities seized his empire piece by piece. Luxury cars worth millions, his collection of watches, even parts of his business accounts were frozen. To his enemies, it looked like the downfall of a self-proclaimed king. But to his supporters, it was proof. Proof that the Matrix was trying to strip away everything he had built. And then, something unexpected happened. Multiple women came forward. They pleaded his innocence, insisting that they had never been trafficked, never been harmed, and that the media was twisting the truth. The more they tried to silence him, the bigger he got. Clips of his speeches flooded TikTok. Millions of young men hung on his every word. It was as if, by trying to erase him, they had made him immortal. Every photograph of him walking into a courthouse, shades on, jaw clenched, became an image of defiance. Some called him a fraud, others called him a prophet, but either way, he had become more than just Andrew Tate. He had become a symbol of resistance, a symbol of defiance against the so-called Matrix. And in the end, after months of headlines and accusations, something shocking happened. The charges of human trafficking, the charges of rape, the accusations of organized crime, they all collapsed. The Romanian courts ruled there was not enough evidence. The allegations that once painted him as a monster could not hold. Andrew Tate walked free. To his supporters, it wasn't just a victory, it was proof that he had beaten the Matrix. And the question remains, if the Matrix couldn't stop him, what could ever stop him now?